Hey guys! For today's video, I thought that it would be fun to share with you guys which tarot cards I see myself in the most. At one time or another in our lives, I'm pretty sure that we can all say that we relate to all of the tarot cards. So today I'm going to be showing you the 3 cards I feel that I relate with the most. There are definitely more than 3, but these are the ones that I feel the most connected with and the ones that I can really see myself in a lot of the time, if not all of the time. So if you have been watching my channel or following me on Instagram for a while, then this first card probably won't come as a shocker. That would be the lovely Hermit card. So the Hermit card is actually my soul card, and if you do not know what your soul card is and would like to find out, I actually made a video on how you can figure out what major is your soul card, so I will link it in this video if you want to go and check it out. But even before I found that out, I always felt drawn to the Hermit. And I feel like it's not just because I'm a very introverted person, but I am someone who definitely relies on introspection and sort of turning inward when dealing with certain situations. Even if I do ask others for their opinions on something, I feel like at the end of the day, I will still determine my decision or my answer, whatever it may be. I will choose what is best for me. I love the lantern that the Hermit carries. So the lantern is a symbol for guidance, it's a symbol for wisdom, and I definitely feel like I can be the person that my friends and family needs if they need to turn to someone to talk to about something, or if they're looking for some help or some guidance in a situation. I like to think that I can be that person for them. I definitely appreciate, though, quiet time to myself, because within that quiet time is when I can do a lot of self-reflection. I am someone who likes to gain knowledge, who likes to go throughout life and take things from lessons, and I definitely wasn't always like that. If something hard happened in my life, something difficult to get through, I would take it extremely personally, and I couldn't really find the bright spot or the silver lining within that situation. It was just a bad situation, and I didn't want to think any more of it after it was dealt with. I just wanted to move on. But as I have grown, I have learned that we definitely gain more knowledge through those types of difficult situations. And maybe in the moment you're not able to see that, and you have to let some time pass before you can look back on the situation with a bit more clarity and a bit more understanding, and actually see the lesson and what you have learned from that situation. And I feel like the Hermit is someone who has been through a lot of tough situations and has taken from them knowledge and wisdom, and that is really what I wish to be and what I'm working towards being. Like I said, I'm definitely a lot better now than I was in the past, but things do take time. But as we continue to progress through life, you start to understand things a bit better and see things a bit more clearly than you used to be able to. Which brings us back to the lantern symbol here. I feel like it is a great symbol for that knowledge that we've gained and how we kind of use it to light our path from now on. So yeah, the Hermit card is definitely my number one that I feel the most connection with. The second card is the Queen of Swords. I want to say only within the past few months is when I have started to notice a connection that I have building with this card. She kept popping up a lot in my readings, and the more time that I spent with her, the more I started to really understand this card and realize that we are very similar. So the Queen of Swords is quite similar to the Hermit. She appreciates knowledge. She's an independent thinker. She doesn't let people get inside her head and boss her around. She definitely leads more with her head than her heart, and I like to think that I am quite similar in that way. Again, in the past, when I was younger, I definitely would let my emotions sort of take over situations, and I feel like as I've grown, I've definitely been able to better determine when I should be using my more emotional side of my mind over my more logical side in a situation. She is someone who will be straightforward with the people that she cares about. I like to think that I am also that way. I may not be as blunt as the Queen of Swords, but I might take a more of a softer approach. But at the end of the day, my goal is definitely to be truthful with the people that I care about. And I also feel like sometimes the Queen of Swords will shut out her emotions and tend to only really stick with the more logical way of thinking. And I know that I tend to do that as well. So sometimes it is a bit of a challenge for me, especially if I'm dealing with a situation involving somebody else, for me to take a step back from that more straightforward and logical approach and kind of take in their emotions and how they may be, dealing with a situation on an emotional level. Just because I tend to not deal with situations emotionally doesn't mean that other people don't. So I feel like that is something that I need to take into consideration a little bit more when dealing with situations that are involving the people that I care about. And I feel like I have come a long way to reach this point. So I definitely see her sitting on this throne here, and I feel like she too has come a long way to get to this point, and that is something that I respect about this card and respect about myself as well. So for the last card, there's actually two cards involved in this one, and I will explain why in a moment. So the last card I have is the Nine of Swords, and bear with me here while I explain. So I am a very in my head type of person, and most of the time it's probably not a good thing. So this is another Swords card, and I definitely feel very connected and can relate with the Swords suit. So the Swords are about thinking logically and more in your mind and communication, things like that. So I am definitely a Swords type of person. Like, yes, I also can connect in different ways with the other suits, but I really feel the most connection with the Swords. So I am a very anxious person. I am someone who is constantly thinking about what is coming and what tomorrow is going to bring. And usually when I think that, it's never really in a positive sort of way. It's never really like, oh, I wonder what tomorrow is going to bring with like sunshine and rainbows, but more like almost like dark clouds and dread a little bit. That might sound a little too dark, but it's always with caution that I ask that question. So yeah, I am very in my head like 99% of the time, and I overthink a lot of situations. And although surprisingly, it doesn't really keep me awake at night, because I feel like a lot of the times the overthinking kind of tires me out. So by the time I am ready to go to bed, I'm exhausted from all of the overthinking. And unlike the Hermit and the Queen of Swords, where I was able to look back on my past and see some form of change or growth happening, with this one, it's not that noticeable for me. I have definitely been this way for most of my life. And I guess up until this point, it's basically been the same, if not worse, as I'm getting older. Because I just feel like as I'm getting older, there's more things, that I have to worry about, or more things on my shoulders. But really up until now, there hasn't really been a change. But I have noticed this pattern that I have, and how it doesn't seem to benefit me really at all. So I know that a change has to be made. And that's where the second card comes into play, which is the Four of Swords. So I have brought the Four of Swords in because to sort of help my overthinking, I have been trying lately to be more mindful, to meditate more, and be more in the present moment rather than worrying about what I did in the past or what is going to happen to me tomorrow. So lately I have been stopping myself when I feel like I'm overthinking and being anxious, and taking a few deep breaths and just being in the moment, focusing on what is going on around me right now. And that seems to help slow my mind down a little bit from, obsessing over the what ifs. And it's definitely not something that is going to change overnight, because like I said, I've been this way basically my whole life. So I'm not expecting, a quick fix or anything. But ever since I started this practice, I have been able to see myself improving and changing and growing. And that has been a very uplifting feeling. Because before I thought that is just the way that my mind works. I'm going to be kind of stuck in this way of being, because it felt like almost impossible to quiet my mind. And then when I started, being more, or practicing to be more mindful and stopping to pause and do some meditations and things like that, it started to open my eyes a little bit more and show me that I don't have to be stuck here. There can be improvement, and I can get out of this funk that I have been in for a while, and let myself know that things can change. So yeah, those are the tarot cards that I feel I can relate with the most, I feel the most connected with at this time. And I really appreciate these cards because they have made me stop to take a look at myself and see the things that I need to improve to help better my life. And that's just another thing that I love about the tarot. I love using it to work on myself and do some self-reflection and introspection. I love using the tarot in those ways because I think it is an incredible tool to help us do that. So yeah, there you have it. those are my cards. Feel free to share in the comments if you have your own cards that you feel the most connected with and can relate to the most. I would love to hear about your guys' connections as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next one.